Welcome back to Changing Lanes, the Hooks Playbook, where we take you inside the philosophy, people, and practices behind Hooks Lincoln. In this episode, we're digging into something that's changing the way people experience car ownership, remote service, and valet pickup delivery services. Of course, our guest today is Mr. Kip Hooks, the owner and top frog at Hooks Lincoln. That's right. Who's going to break down how these services work, how they came about, and maybe most importantly, what makes the Hooks version of remote care unlike any other. If you've ever wondered whether letting someone pick up your car for service is really worth it, or how dealerships even make it happen, this episode is definitely for you. How are you today, Kip?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Sean?
I'm great. Great, great, great.
Good.
Looking forward to talking about this episode. I think a lot of people probably wish that services like this existed like 10 or 30 years ago, maybe.
It kind of did, but not to this magnitude, not to this degree.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was
Well,
kind of hard to find.
that's really kind of my first question that I wanted to ask you is like, when did remote service start for you guys? How did you like feel about it in the beginning? Any skepticism as an owner of like, should we even do this? And how long ago did you start doing it?
So not really any skepticism because we were trying to do this years ago and we just didn't have the ability to do it broad scale. So we would go pick up some cars and try to make it easier on our clients than when we could, but it was hard to scale it up because you need the organization. You can't just kind of willy-nilly it. And so it really got to this level, I don't know, within the last 8 years, 8 years, really, that we've really brought it up. And really COVID helped too. But well, not that COVID helped anything, but it did, when we were trying to figure out how to best service people and take care of our clients, then this really came into good use. And it was a very useful procedure to help our clients. But we go way back when we would go pick up our customers' cars and take them back to them. But at that time, honestly, it was more like if we know them or if they're a good customer, it was a one off, or if they called and asked. Nowadays we offer it to everybody who buys a Lincoln, and whether it's valet service or mobile service where we come to you. I mean, either way. So it's definitely ramped up since we initially started trying to do this to benefit our clients.
Do you remember, was it something that it just kind of came up as an idea and then you started to kind of build plans around it? Or was it like maybe a need and you just responded to something that was a need? Do you remember kind of like what was the inception point? Like
Oh,
maybe what triggered you to start doing it?
I think it was probably mostly about, hey, what is an inconvenience for our customers, and how can we take some of the inconvenience away and make it easier and make it, more of a less intrusive to their day. There we go. So,
Mm,
because most people work or they have something going on, and, dragging their car to the dealership is not always at the top of the list of what they want to do during the day. So, we were trying to figure out a way to make it easier. And so we would, if we had somebody coming in that we knew, we'd say, hey, let me come get you, or, let me do this, or however we could get to them. But it would be typically you'd pull somebody off staff who was already on staff. And so obviously had a different role to go do that. So you're pulling somebody out of the store. So we could never scale it up like we have
mm,
now and making it more and more available. So I think overall it was, yes, to ease a burden or to make it less inconvenient to get their vehicle taken care of and to let us take care of it. So
mm.
just trying to weigh, again, everything is in the interest of our clients. So whatever we could do to make that whole process easier. That's kind of the inception. And I wouldn't say that it was like a light bulb moment where we was like, hey, what if we do this? But it's just kind of always been there. I think you could go back decades of when we've done a lot of this, when we've tried to do these things where we're going to the customer or doing whatever. But
Mhm.
it got to be more and more and more. And of course, I was trying to figure out a way we could scale this up. And then Lincoln stepped in, and Lincoln they have a program that we work with, and and then I guess we've taken it upon ourselves to really take it from there and run with it.
Mm. And you talk about like a valet service, which sounds different from just, pickup and delivery. Is there something about that is different? Like you'd want customers to know like that, yeah, it's not just pickup and delivery, it's a little different.
It is. I mean, we have drivers on staff, and when we schedule it, we'll schedule a driver and a loaner, and not everybody wants a loaner. So whether if they want a loaner, we'll schedule a loaner and a driver at the time that we have you scheduled. We look at logistics, check the traffic. Going west right now is miserable, so we really have to watch that. So we'll be on time, and then we have one of our drivers grab a loaner, have the paperwork, head that way, meet you at your house, and then we take care of all the paperwork there with you, and we already know what we're supposed to be doing. And we take pictures of the vehicle and everything. Driver brings it back. Then we take care of all the services, wash it, do everything we need to do, call our client, and then the driver schedules a time to take it back to them at their convenience. And it doesn't matter if they're at home or work or wherever they are. We get the address where they're going to be, let them know we're coming, meet them there, and just try to make it as seamless and effortless as possible.
Mm. So you can be at the office and schedule this, whether it's the pickup side of it or the delivery side of it, or even both. It doesn't even have to be home. It can be if that's the
Yeah,
most
it can be
convenient
2 different
place.
places. So we pick it up at
Yeah.
home and bring it back to work, or pick it up at work and take it back to home, or, we've delivered them to malls, somebody's shopping or doing whatever during the Christmas season, whatever they're doing, this is where they're gonna be, and we go to them. Just try to make it as easy and effortless as it
My
can
dealer
be.
doesn't do that for my truck, and now I'm very disappointed. Now I'm having that
You
fear
should
of
probably be
missing
in a
out.
Lincoln.
I know, probably so. Like, what am I thinking? Gosh. Um, uh, would you mind, sharing a little bit even more of some of that behind the scenes side of what happens here? Especially if there's, like I love it because you have so many, like, uh immeasurable number of stories of these services that you have been providing for so long. Are there some behind the scenes or maybe a story there that would help a customer that doesn't like see that type of stuff, but would like, oh, wow, I never even thought of that? Because just the fact that you will pick it up and drop it off wherever you want, I think even that isn't something that people always that they don't know. But what else do you think maybe people don't know about this service that they should?
Well, that it's scheduled around you. I mean, a lot of people think about, whether a service is coming to your house or whatever, that, okay, well, it's gonna be between, what, 8 and 2. I mean, it's always these huge windows. We try to get it on the dot. We're gonna be there at this time. If we can't show up on time, then that's really taking the convenience away from it and taking the effortlessness away from it. So it's important that we stay organized on our end. And like I said earlier, watch logistics, because I mean, there's these traffic patterns are changing. And, 1 minute it could be, you could look at it going one way and it's a 15-minute drive, and look at it coming back and it's an hour drive. And that's happened recently. So we have to really watch those things and make sure that we're scheduling everything as best we can and watching everything. And I provide the drivers with mobile phones that are company phones. That way we know where they are, but they always have that communication to contact the client if something comes up and they're going to be late, and the client has that number, is like, hey, I got to go, and I'm going to leave the car sitting here, the keys are in, or whatever. We can communicate instead of being in the dark and wondering what's going on. I think that level of communication really adds an important layer to the whole experience, so that everybody knows what's going on.
Mm,
So,
mhm,
there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and having people who are good drivers who are going to go represent your company, and they're going to represent us and my family and everyone here when they show up and knock on the door. And
mm.
drive your car, and it's important that we make sure that those guys are good drivers and that there's a lot of things that go into it. So it's not just, hey, somebody hop in a car and go pick up Sean's Navigator or whatever. It's
Mhm.
there's a lot more to it. And of course, when you call to get something done, it's like you don't always remember all the things that needed to be done, right? Like, I just need an oil change. And then they pick it up and you remember, oh yeah, well, I was having this rattle, or I need to get this changed, or my windshield wipers weren't working right. We're going to bring it in and check it. We're going to run the reports on it, make sure nothing's acting up. We're going to do a 120-point inspection on it, a multi-point inspection, so that we look at everything. We're going to check your tires. We're going to check your brakes. We're going to check your windshield wipers, all your fluids. We're going to look at all that stuff. So, because inevitably people forget about something that they wanted to get checked or needed to be looked at. So, once it's in our hands, it's our job to do what we need to do to take care of your car and make sure it's ready for you. So again, it's effortless is the point.
Yeah. I love it. Now I'm like my expectations are actually changing. I want I want that for myself. I also have a question though about from the consumer side. There's, I'm guessing, I don't know if it's a large number of people, but some people that would be having a concern that might be sound something like, will I get the same level of service, using this if I just brought it in myself? Like, like, you ever have people that are kind of the skeptics that way? We're like, I don't know, like maybe if I bring it in myself, I'll get a better level of service. Um,
Um, Not really. I mean, because the level of service is the same. It's going to be whether you're sitting here, or sitting in your house, or at work, at your office, whatever it is. The level of service we're going to take care of your car with is not going to change. It's going to be the same. We're going to do the same thing whether you're here or there. We're going to be in communication whether we walk into the other room and talk to you, or call you, or text you, or email you, whatever is the most convenient. So I like right now, I wouldn't need, if it was my car, I wouldn't need someone calling me because I'm busy talking to you. So,
mhm.
it's however the client prefers for us to contact them, we're going to do it that way. And we're going to be in communication. We'll let them know when the car gets here, what we're doing, when it's done, and when we're headed their way. And of course, if anything comes up in the meantime, if we notice something that needs to be done, we're certainly going to call them and let them know. So it's the same. It's the same whether you're in the other room or in another location. It's that level of service is a commitment that we make to taking care of the vehicle regardless of where you are.
Did did you when you started to do this service, were there things that you wanted to make, like it be a Hooks thing or feel like more of the Hooks personality than, another dealership that tries to do the same thing or offers a similar service? Were there things that you wanted, like, I want this to be this way that's gonna, because you do these things inside the operation of somebody just going through a regular car buying experience that are very intentional to be a Hooks thing. Was there something about this service delivery that you wanted to make it almost put your own mark on it?
Well, yes. I mean, it comes down to the a lot of big piece of it is the drivers. And there was at one point where there was a driver service that was offered to us, and Lincoln had this, and we signed into it to help ramp this whole thing up. And we didn't do it that long, honestly, Sean, because you're not in control of who's representing the store and the family and taking care of our clients. I mean, I want to know who the person is who's going to come knocking on your door. I want them to be my employees so that I know who they are and they know who I am and how I think, and they represent the store in the best way. So instead of being some cold transfer, just like a here, this, sign that, blah, 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 it needs to be a much warmer transfer and engagement, really. So it was important that we have people on staff that are part of our team that know how we take care of our clients, that witness it when they're not on the road. They can replicate the way we talk to with our clients and the intention of our conversations when they're away and they're at the customer's place of work or at their home. So I think that was a big differentiator when we really took it to that level because of the representation. And, it's that's almost secondary, to be honest, because we want to be sure that if I'm going to send someone to your house, I want to know who that person is. I want to make sure that my customer is going to be okay with them, right? If somebody
Mm.
else vetted them out, that's one thing. For me to vet them out, it's a different thing. So when we know who they are and they represent us, then we feel a lot more confident about it. And don't get me wrong, there's been a few times we've missed. Well, we've had, someone on staff who was doing that and find out that something didn't work out. And we had a couple of, there was, I don't know, something crazy happened. And that honestly, we take care of those situations pretty quick because that's something you're not going to get two swings on that one. If you do
Mhm.
something that's untoward when you're taking care of one of our clients, especially off site, because they know we go through training, we go through what they should do, what they need to look for, what they need to ask for, and things that we expect, and they hit those marks and they make sure that. But it's not like they're not like, hold on a sec, let me read this. It's natural. It's just
Mhm.
something that, that character. When I've talked about hiring for character in the past, but when on that job, it's very important that we're hiring for character. It's not just someone who's a driver, it's someone who's representing us. I'll say that till I'm blue in the face and everybody's tired of hearing it, but that representation is important. So when we put that whole process together, we want to have, like with anything else in the store, the right people is the differentiator. That's the difference. It's the people.
Yeah. I I I think that's a huge differentiator when you think about what's happened in the last, well, it's more than 10 years now. I don't know how long it's been exactly that Uber's been around, but
Yeah.
listening to you talk about how much you care about the people and who's driving, who's handling the customer, and how that matters. The first thing I started thinking about was my early experiences with Uber, which the early ones were actually really good, but then as Uber just took off like a wildfire, I started to not have great experiences with drivers and um, you know, it's different than when you're actually hiring drivers to come and offer a service like this with the dealership. But there is a similarity in that for the customer that it's a stranger that they don't know, stranger that works at Hooks, facilitating this. But imagine the customer who's had remote driver experiences, be it Uber or Lyft or something like that, they're going to contrast that naturally, subconsciously in their mind, those types of experiences with who's coming to get my car and who's dropping off my car. And the fact that you
Mhm.
guys put kind of that Hooks emphasis of quality and importance and character behind it, that is actually a really huge thing. I can't tell you how many times I've over the years ended up in a driver experience where I'm like, I don't think they even understand. Like I my what language I'm speaking.
Yeah.
there's all kinds of different barriers like that that can make things more difficult than making them easier. And it sounds like you, like and anyone would be surprised, are painstakingly making sure that you check all the boxes and also, I appreciate this, and I know that the people that tune into your content do as well, is you're also very transparent. There is no such thing as a perfect person or a perfect dealership. And so you'll live it out loud and say, but we own up to anything that we're accountable for. We make it right. But the fact that you offer a service like this on the front end, and we're one of the first dealers to be doing this type of service, it says almost all you need to know about, you guys.
Well, it's a commitment again to our clients, and that's, how do you elevate it and stay above that? What's the next step? I don't know. I
Yeah.
know that, on that topic, there was at one point, Lincoln actually offered a deal where they were going to have, like, if people wanted to, it was in this realm, but if people want to drop their car off and if there wasn't a loaner available or something like that, they offered to pay up to a certain amount of money for them to take a lift, to call a lift and they get a lift ride home. And I never bought into that. And we had somebody down there that bought into it. I heard about it once. And I was like, that's not what we're doing.
Mhm.
And I think about like my wife. If my wife were to go in and drop her car off and somebody put her in a lift with a stranger by herself, I think she'd probably be uncomfortable, but I would be uncomfortable. And I'm not going to do that to any of our clients. That's just not right. So we take them home. If they need a
Mhm.
lift or don't need a loaner or in that same scenario, we have a driver that will take them home in one of our cars.
Mhm.
Or if they're more comfortable in their car and then bring their car back.
Yeah.
So, it's what can you do? And it's really about being intentional about the end goal, which is the customer satisfaction and taking care of our clients and making it
Yeah.
less of a burden, effortless, basically making it effortless on them. That's the overall intent. Now, within that, if this is your goal, you need to be mobile. Like you need to be able to be flexible and move and change. And when you can do that, then you're not boxed in, but you're still following the whole intentionality, I guess you could say, of what we do and finding different ways. You listen to a client, if they need this or need that, then help, help provide it.
Mm.
And then we just got more flexibility and it broadens the scope of not just picking up and delivering. A lot of times it's just pick up and delivery. A lot of times it's literally we show up, pick up your car, leave your loan or bring it back, and then vice versa. But there's times when the people need something else or we can help in other ways. And those are when a driver can go out of their way to help someone, that they may know a few things about the vehicle. And we had a client that was having an issue with their programming their garage door. And while we were there,
Mm.
they just happened to mention it. We went over there and programmed it for them while we were there. That wasn't part of the write up. That wasn't part of what they were going to do, but they were there. They were versatile. They knew how to do it. They were able to help. So they took the opportunity to help someone.
Mm. Yeah. I love that. If there were, how do I want to ask this question? It's mainly for like people that maybe have misconceptions or they things that maybe you wish that people knew that they don't understand about remote service. Anything like that that comes up kind of common for that person that's the like first time, like I don't really understand this. Is there anything like that that is helpful for the consumer
I
that's on the fence maybe?
I would think that would be more associated with like the mobile service van when we come to you and do service, which is kind
Mm.
of the other side of this whole thing. So instead of picking it up and bringing it here, we come to you and take care of it right there at your house or at your work. Obviously, sometimes if it's a work thing, we have to be sure that it's okay with the property owner. Sometimes you have to check with a neighborhood, make sure that it's okay with the neighborhood or whatever. But the misconception is really comes down to that piece of it. As far as the pickup and delivery, the misconception of maybe well, who's going to be picking up my car? I don't know who they are. Who are they? Blah, blah, blah. That's where it goes back to having the right people, having our own drivers on the team, making sure that they're aware of what needs to happen, how we do it, the whole intention of what they're doing. So I would say that any misconceptions mostly would come down to the mobile service side of it and the mobile service
Mm.
van would be my idea. So now I can tell you about some of those, where they're going to make a mess. They're going to do this. We have tarps. We have everything we need to make sure that what we do is going to be clean, safe, and we're leaving it the way we found it. We don't, we can do oil changes. We have a system inside the mobile service van that it actually goes and sucks the oil out instead of having to drain it from the drain pan, and taking the plug out and all that. It sucks it out rather than coming out the bottom. So it eliminates that opportunity for mess. Then we have tarps that if we put an oil in, it pumps oil out. And we make sure that, you're dealing with oil, things happen all the time. So we make sure there's a tarp below it, to catch anything that might drip. It's not like we're pouring anything, but something that might drip. Um, we're trying to expand those services as best we can, and we will as we grow that. We have some pretty good plans that we can do with our mobile service. For right now, we can come and do recalls at their house instead of having to worry about coming in. If there's a recall, that's a lot of them these days are software update or a flash to the system and things like that because they're so computerized. We can come to you and do that because we have the
Mm.
tools and equipment and the connectivity all on board to take care of that for you right there. Well, you don't have to, you can sit there and watch TV. We'll take care of it and we'll be done. And your car's done. You don't have to worry about that recall. It's been satisfied, and we move on.
Love that. And, for the audience listening and or watching, you can go to Hook's Google business profile and you can find all kinds of people that have reviewed your store, and specifically even calling out service and people by name in your service department. And the that part of the dealership experience can be really um, nerve wracking for people when they
Of course
need
it
something
can,
done
and
on their car.
especially
Yeah,
especially when you're bringing someone else into your environment,
yeah,
knocking on my door at my house or coming and working on my car at my house or wherever, it's we don't want it to feel invasive. We don't want it to feel uncomfortable. We want it to, be seamless and smooth. I've had calls about Santiago, who's our mobile service van technician. I've had people call me out of the blue. I've had friends call me. I've had people call and just tell me what a wonderful young man he is and how he's so kind and courteous and helpful. And it just, what do you say? I go straight to him and like, man, hey, I just got a call with a compliment on you. And I tell him every time I get one, he's an outstanding young man and he does a great job. So we are blessed to have him on the team and have him doing that and hope, as we grow it, he's going to be the one telling other people how we do it and what he does because what he does, and he's not, so he takes what we're supposed to do, right? Because we have all this training, but he takes what we do and the intentionality of what we do and his creativity and he brings it all together, and that's what helps him provide such a wonderful experience to our clients in at their place. So it's one of those things. It's not a set it and forget it, but it's a let go and let him go do his thing because he knows what he's doing. He does a fantastic job and people love him. So we want to be sure he has all the tools and anything he needs to take care of somebody and to take care of this job on the road. I want him to be sure he has what he needs. So we're here to support him and help him any way we can because he's done so many wonderful things and is really taking ownership of this whole thing. So it's a good
yeah.
setup.
That's
It's a good system.
it's fantastic for your clients and your I mean your customers. Uh, I'm sure when they first come to Hooks, they don't realize this, but they end up finding out that the entire ownership experience is kind of thoughtful, um, all the way through. Like it's a start to finish consideration of making sure that a consumer that decides to give Hooks Lincoln a shot, they're going to feel your leadership and why all of these things matter around prioritizing the customer's experience. And these are things that honestly, in having these conversations with you, you find out that you've been doing them even longer than the industry has been screaming, "Hey, we need to improve the customer experience." You've been doing these things for a long time ahead of that. And that's why people say these things. That's why they're complimenting Santiago and what's going on in the mobile service side. The fact that you care enough to make sure that the people that are interacting with your customers on their turf, be it work or home, also says a whole lot about the experience and how intentional you there are some common themes in conversations with you, Kip, about how you operate your business, about being intentional with delivering great customer service, and that matters to people more than ever. Like in this day and age, that matters to people more than ever. And I can't say it enough. The service part of the experience is one where you can lose a lot of that hard fought business in the first place.
Yeah.
And essentially, what you're doing is you're telling a customer, "Thank you for giving us a shot on the front end of just selling you a vehicle. Like we'd love that opportunity." But guess what? It doesn't stop there. It continues on into the area where probably even starts to count even more. That's how we're going to take care of you
It
when you
does.
need anything. This valet
Yeah.
service, this pickup, this delivery, this
I
mobile
mean,
service. I mean, that's countless things that make the customer um, feel cared for.
yeah, I
So
mean,
I
and that's,
commend you for doing that.
we have, well, thank you very much. And then it's the heritage, it's the lineage of our family and what we've done. And it's it's just baked into us. It's like, this is what do we do? How can we make this a better experience? When we think about the whole ownership experience of however many years you have your car, well, you're going to take a lot more visits into service, whether you come in or we do mobile or it's a pickup and delivery, valet, whatever it is, you're going to have more interactions there. That experience is paramount. I mean, it's incredibly important. So that's why when we look at our service and parts departments, we consider that our backbone. That's our spine. That's what holds everything up and keeps everything going forward. We can't overpromise and underdeliver. We have to overdeliver.
Hmm.
And that's the name of the game. What can we do that can make it better? So when we think about things from our perspective of, well, what would be a hiccup? What might interfere? What could be a potential hurdle to or inconvenience to our clients? Then that's when we start thinking outside the box about trying to do pickup and delivery and make that a bigger deal and moving to this. When we started having these mobile service vans available and where we could upfit one with the Lincoln stuff, I mean, I was it didn't they did all they had to do was basically say what it was, and my hand was in the air. I was like, I want one. I want to do this because we
Hmm.
can really do some special things with this and really help our clients and take the level of service that we provide to another level. And I think it has. And again, it always comes down to people and having the right people, and I think we have the right guy doing that. We have the right guys and the drivers, and we have the right staff that are around it, and we have the right person who's scheduling this and looking at logistics, and we just have good people and who not only do they do a great job, but they want to do better and they want to know, they're asking me, what if we did this? What if we did that? How can we do this different? Or how can we do that different? Which is great. And not all of it is a great idea, which is why they're asking me. But,
Yeah.
it's not always the best idea, but it tells me that they're thinking about it and they're wanting to make it better. And so, if they have an idea, a lot of times we incorporate those thoughts and ideas into the process because it elevates what we're doing, whether it
Mm.
simplifies what we have to do on our side, which takes away any noise or distraction from the whole relationship part of it, or it's something that really takes the experience to the next level with the client or for the client rather. So
Hmm.
that's the key. That's the key to everything. So we are never content. We're never stopping. We're not going to stop and say, okay, we're good. We've provided all the service we can. It's never going to be that way. We're always looking at what we can do. What's the next thing? What's the next opportunity? What can we do to help make this more of an effortless experience for them, for our clients, and make it a better, it's easier to get service done. They get it done. It's always right. It's on time and it's effortless.
Hmm.
Those we're trying to hit those marks every time. And no, we're not perfect. No one is. And I'll be the first to admit that we're not. But I'll tell you this, we learn from our mistakes and we get
Hmm.
better because of our mistakes. And it's because of those failures that we've had that we've had the opportunity to get better. And I will personally tell every person that may have been involved in when oops, that didn't work. Well, I'm telling my customers, I apologize, but the intention was to do this, and we're going to get better for it. And you have my word. Now you have my word that we're going to get better because of this, and we do. and we do get better. So we learn from those failures, slips, mistakes, whatever it is. We do learn from all of those to help us get better. And we're always going to have little slip ups. We're just trying to carve them out and mitigate them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all that you shared, even just in that answer, it's proof that you personally care in the way you are leading the store. But the fact that the people on your team, that your team members will come with ideas, whether they're all accepted or not, that isn't the part that matters as much as it's proof that your team actually cares as well. And you can't fake caring. I guess you can fake it for a little while, but people will know. They'll find out after a
Yeah.
while if you don't really care, because caring takes time, and you're putting in the time yourself with your team, with the processes, the services, and then you're also just being open and transparent and saying, "We get it right a lot." I think you probably downplay it a little a little much because you're a
Well,
humble guy, about we're not perfect, and I think that everybody appreciates that, like, of course, nobody's perfect, no dealership's gonna be perfect, no business is gonna be perfect, and that you'll own that and say, "But those are our opportunities to learn, those are our opportunities to get better, those are our opportunities to refine all of these services." That's what people
mm,
appreciate. That's why people write the things and say the things and respond, and they continue to do business with Hooks. It's because of all those things, which is fantastic. This is a really good place, I think, to park the
uh,
episode, but I'll give you the final word
well,
if you got a couple thoughts.
I'll tell you this. Yeah, of course. And for all those people, all the comments, all the feedback, everything, every client, every one of our family of clients, I am grateful. I'm truly grateful, and I truly appreciate everything. I appreciate I appreciate the opportunity to help you. I appreciate the patience and understanding when we do have those mistakes, but you have my word that we're trying to get better every time, every day. It's about having good people and having the right people. And, I've said it, we're better off to have nobody than we are to have the wrong people.
Mm,
And, we don't look, when we talk about problem solving, I kind of draw a line through it and say that opportunity finding, so find an opportunity to get better. And so maybe this is a problem, but it's an opportunity you solve this and we're getting better. So really it's an opportunity. So we look for those all the time, and we listen. And, I can't go do every job in this dealership myself. I have to have a fantastic team, and it takes a team to get it done. And without that team, it's not happening. So
mm,
we have to have the right people on the team. And when we have those people that look at those opportunities and look for ways to do things better, then that's a win. That's a win for our clients. So that's a win for our organization. That's a win for me. And that's
mhm.
where they get all the credit. I'm not the one setting the appointments. I have other people doing that. I have other people who are doing these other things, but we're all one team, and they deserve the credit. And they're the ones who go out and do such a great job. I'm so proud to have the team that we have, and work with the people that I get to work with that are committed to taking care of customers, whatever it takes. And we will be there. We're going to make mistakes, but we're going to learn from them. We're going to get better. We're going to pick up and move on, and we will take care of you. And I'm always here, and I always want to make sure that we're providing the best level of care that we can. So that's my word.
I love it, Kip. This is a good spot to close the Hooks playbook for today. Big thanks, of course, Kip, for taking the time, helping us look under the hood of your
Wow.
stores of Hooks Lincoln's remote service and valet experience. It's clear that it's not just about the convenience, although that's fantastic, but it's about commitment to caring for your customers and all the things that you do, and also doing things the right way and learning from mistakes and all of the things that you've shared. Even when the customer isn't actually physically at the dealership, you could do all these things. Listen, audience, if you're a current customer and you haven't tried it yet, well, now's the time, right? You want to jump in on that for sure. And if you're just tuning in and you're learning, or somehow you're seeing this content and you're thinking, huh, I kind of like the sounds of how Kip Hooks operates, well, then we hope you're seeing that service actually can be more than a promise at Hooks. It's actually a practice, and they're really good at it. So also, hey, don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a review or a comment. Share the episode with somebody that you think needs maybe a little more convenience in their car care life. Until next time, thanks for listening. We'll see you again real soon right back here on Changing Lanes.